ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्। श्रीरொண்டதோப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊருண்டு தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
Swam Uddishya. Swam Uddishya meaning என்கிறபடியே பிரயோஜனத்திலும் ஸ்வப்பிரயோஜனார்த்தமாக பரப்பிரயோஜனத்திலும் ஸ்வப்பிரயோஜனமாக பிரவர்த்தித்தாலும் இவனுடைய ஆசிரித்த பாரதந்திரிய பிரகாரத்தை சொல்ல பார்த்தால், generally we all should feel that the Lord does everything. If at all the actions seem to belong to us, we feel that we are doing the actions, then he says we are all instruments in his hand. So we are all what we call Amena Atmana Kartra. We are also partly doing in the sense for the sake of the Lord as a representative of the Lord. Pratinidhi. That doesn't mean, of course, we have some stake in our actions. We have no stake in our actions. We have no claim in our actions. We can't say that I did it. We did it. Swam Uddishya meaning directed towards himself, the Lord. Meaning Uddesha is generally meaning proposal. Uddishya is direction. Disha is direction. Directing the actions towards himself. All actions converge on him. All actions go to him. Get what we call fruits through him. So when he says Swam Uddishya, meaning that all actions are directed towards him, he wants to be selfless. Lord is always selfless. Paraprayojanam. Though he enjoys the pleasures of his own game, namely Leela Vibhuti, namely the life of people on this earth. Now, he also has what we call Saprayojanam. That means his actions are both selfless and selfish. So, previously we saw that he enjoys the pleasure and the pleasure is not ours. Whatever action we do, for example, as service to the Lord, will have the purpose of making him happy. That's all. Making him happy. the thought should never into our mind that we enjoy the service which we do to him. We have a satisfaction of doing service to him. No, that is also not right. So his purpose is double. His aim is two-pronged, P-R-O-N-G-E-D, two-pronged. Therefore, but he now says, Swam Uddishya, meaning he is more interested in us than himself. Ashrita surrenderies, Paratantriya, he is a slave. He is a slave to the surrenderies. Prakaram, the aspect or the method. So, Swam Uddishya meaning, yesterday I told you while finishing the session, Swam means oneself. Another meaning is one's own property. We are his property. And therefore, of course, he has got all the right to use the property, namely us, at will, according to his desire. At the same time, he is more interested in us. He is more interested in our welfare than his own pleasure. That's the meaning of Samudhisya. Now, another point is, if you ask the question, who has more affection towards us? Are we showing affection towards ourselves more than what Lord shows? Or Lord shows more affection towards us than we do ourselves? The answer is the latter, L-A-T-T-E-R. Namely, Lord feels more happy, Lord feels more affectionate, Lord loves us more than whatever be the level that we love him. So now, last but one line. Varada sakalam etat samshita artham chakartha. Chakartha means said. Chakartha means said. Now, this should be available in Varadaraja Panchashatra. Varada, O Lord Varadaraja, O boon giver, simply meaning boon giver. You can take any temple, any god, but his favorite god was Kanchipuram Varadaraja. Therefore, he uses the word Varada everywhere. Sakalam etat, all this. Sakalam, all etat, this. The Charma Shloka of Sri Varaha Avatara, the incarnation as great boar, has been understood as all actions of the Lord within inverted commas, the Charma Shloka, the words of Charma Shloka of Sri Varaha Avatara are directed towards to benefit the individual soul or Jivatma or in the whole society of individuals or the whole earth as you understand, even inanimate things. So now, what is our duty? Since as we human beings, we have mind to think, knowledge to understand, at least a little, and therefore our purpose of life is to surrender to the God. So the Charma Shloka, Nayami Paramam Gatim, especially Nayami Paramam Gatim, is to tell us that our duty, foremost duty, enjoined duty, E-N-J-O-I-N-E, enjoined duty as a what we call scriptural order, that we must surrender to the Lord, surrender to the preceptor, and through the preceptor to the Lord. Samshitartham, the purpose of the words of the divine mouth of the great board is to make us realize that we must make a total surrender to the highest preceptor, namely the God, or immediate preceptor, who is also supposed to be thought of as Divya Mangala Vigraha of Lord. He is also divine. Though he is a human being, normal human being, who eats, sleeps, and whatever action that normal human beings do, he also does. But Acharya is to be considered as God. He should be understood as Aprakrita Shariravan. We must understand him as a supernatural human being. So, என்கிறபடியே ஸ்வப்பிரயோஜனத்திலும் பரப்பிரயோஜனார்த்தமாக பிரவர்த்திக்கும் எனலாம். Now, the only process which is to be needed permanently by all people, the duty consciousness of the individual souls, is very much necessary that all of us must approach, resort, take the Lord as a succor through the preceptor. And therefore, every word from the divine mouth of, lotus mouth of the great board has twin purposes. Number one, his own selfish pleasure and our own welfare. Ivartangalai, these meanings, we are going to next page 27. So these are the words. What are the words? Separately, a cluster of words is given. Kashta Pashana Sannibham. These three words refers to our mortal coil. Perishable physical body is called Kashta Pashana Sannibham. There is a simile. Our human body after death looks exactly like a log of wood or a stone or a bone. Because why stone is added, why not the log of wood is enough? The stone becomes heavy and heavier later. As the dead body of a human being is kept for a long time before burning, it gets heavier and heavier. Why it is getting heavier and heavier? Because the blood clots. The liquid blood, the fluid blood becomes solid. Not very quickly, which of course slowly. A live person can be lifted very easily. A dead body cannot be lifted very easily. Therefore, we say Brahmin's unity at least will be 4 while carrying a dead body. So, Brahmanan ஒன்னா சேரணும்னா அந்த விஷயத்தில் தான். So, Kashta Pashana Sannibham refers to a simile to the dead body of a human being. The Smarta refers to Lord. You can also add it to the individual soul, but the individual soul has ebbed out of the dead body, and therefore Smarta meaning rememberer, one who remembers, one who retains the memory, one who does not forget. Smarta meaning he remembers all our merits and sins. Not only he remembers our sins, but also merits. Take it very positive. Don't say always he remembers our sins. What we call shortcomings. What we call lacunae. He doesn't remember only our lacunae. What we lack, what bad quality we possess. But he also remembers the merits of our good actions. So he is Martha. That is why we have anecdotes in Bhagavata like Ajam Mela Upakshana, or sorry, there's also one, yeah. He named his 10 sons. The last son was Narayana. So saying one time name in the whole life is considered sufficient in his case, not in our case. Please remember. Please remember, don't say that because we say once the name of the Lord, we can get emancipation. And also that aspect is used by the Sampradaya where we prostrate only once. Sakradeva. So Smarta, we have a responsibility to remember him. That is Vadagali Sampradaya. Smarta is, supposing you take it as individual soul, we must remember. The problem for us is memory. Why? Because we go through many births. The memory totally fails. So we can't be a complete smarta unless we are reminded. Then Mad Bhaktam, these two words refers to both the individual soul and the supreme soul. Mat, my, my, Bhaktam, the devotee, my devotee. Mad Bhaktam Smarami, I remember my devotee. So this is again one more aspect is understood by saying we must be bhaktas, we must be devotees. Number one. If we are not able to become devotees, we must be surrenderies. We must follow what we call prapatti yoga. Either we follow bhakti yoga or prapatti yoga. There is no other way. Of course, karma, jnana, or what we call precedents, they come earlier to the bhakti or prapatti yoga. We must go through those two other yogas also. Karma yoga. We cannot give up our duty, nor we should stop learning. We must learn. We must try to approach a preceptor to learn. More important, gain knowledge on Lord, the spiritual knowledge, Brahmajnana. And therefore, in order to get the blessings of the Lord, we have to be devotee or we have to be surrendering. So Mad Bhaktam refers to those devotees of the Lord who can do follow the path of devotion. And if there are people who are not able to follow the path of devotion and they, because of helplessness, use the prapatti marga, they are also welcome. And it is inclusive of these two categories of individual souls. And therefore he says Mad Bhakta. See, these are the what we call inner shades of meaning that we can understand very easily also. It is not that only I should say, you all can do that. Aham smarami. Aham smarami. We also feel that when he says aham smarami, he has the egoism. Yes, he has egoism. Lord has egoism. No doubt about it. But we are not to blame him for his egoism. Why he says aham is, he is saying it humbly. Suppose we start blaming him squarely that he is totally selfish because he wants to have a game or sport by creation. And many people suffer and some people are happy. Then we will always find fault with him. Finding fault with the Lord is the preposterous action, foolish action. The problem is, again we have to go to him and ask his favor. So we must be reminding ourselves that we cannot have the right to blame for his egoism, so-called egoism, so understood as egoism. He has already said Mad Bhaktam. There, the possessiveness, the attitude of possession is not mistaken because he says Mad Bhaktam. Because he says that we as devotees belong to him, we don't mistake his mamakara, the sense of possession. But whereas when he says Aham Smarami, then who are you to remember me? Suppose we ask the question, then we are at the disadvantage because then we cannot get the favor from him, and therefore we have to say that he is humble. Then Smarami, I remember. So I remember is present tense. Nayami is present tense. I told you, present tense word. Smarami means this Smarami, present tense verb, namely I remember, applies to all times. He remembered us in the past. He remembers us now. He will remember us in future. He remembered us in the past over our previous births. And because of his compassion, kindness, sympathy, pity, he brought us to this level, human level. Otherwise, we will be always in the what we call Kshudra Jantu form. Lesser living beings, sometimes inanimate beings also. And therefore, we must be thanking him. We feel that we are lucky. We hope that we are fortunate because we have become a human being in this world. So when he says Marami, Marami is 3 times present tense verb, past, present, and future. If because he remembers us or remembered us past tense, he knows our plus and minuses. He knows our merits and sins. When he remembers us, present tense, he is ready to help us. In future, he is going to make us Nityasuris in Shivaikuntham. And therefore, we still need his favor after surrender, waiting for his boon, namely the life in Shivaikuntham. Therefore, we cannot dismiss him as unnecessary. So, dismiss his memory as unwarranted. So, Smarami, I remember. Nayami, I take. So, Ityadigalile Anusandhu. Now, what are the two fruits of understanding the words like Kashtapashana Sandhimam, Smarta, Madbhaktam, Aham Smarami, Nayami? We must always dote upon, devotee, meditate upon his sympathy. Number 1, Kashtapashana Sannibham, meaning when we are inert, when we have no feeling, when the body lies down without any action, without any movement, then we must be thankful to the Lord that He is taking care of us. Not only taking care of the individual souls which have life, but also the lifeless body. Now, please remember certain cases where the body is not available. The dead body is not available. For example, in accidents, in bomb blast, the body is strewn to pieces. We cannot identify a single atom of the body. In that case, it cannot be burnt, it cannot be buried, it cannot have rituals. Unfortunately, such things happen. So the body, the dead body has to be disposed in the proper way. And the proper way is not simply burning or burying, but by why burying? I am talking of sannyasis, the saints who have to be buried. So here, so the dead body is also taken care of, and children arrive after 2 days to see the dead body of their parents. The dead body is kept intact in an ice box. That is the practical way now. And Lord gives you that benefit. Everything happens on His will. And therefore, the first one, Kashtapashana Sannimam, the dead body, which is equal to log of wood. The log of wood and stone are not much cared for as a human being. And therefore, so Smarta again, because he remembers, we must be grateful to him. Because he calls himself as the master of our group of devotees. And therefore, we must be grateful to him. And because of his words in Varaha Charamasloka, Aham Smarami, Rayami, we are to be permanently beholden to him. We must be thankful to him. So this is the Tamil version of Deshikat Prabandham. Idam Petrar Ellam en Udalai. There are two shades of meaning. The body of the Lord is the entire creation. Say 14 worlds of creation. So it is called Shariram of the Lord. Yan Udalai Nitya. Idam Petrar Ellam. Idam Petrar Ellam, those who have found a place in living in this earth or anywhere, in all creation. Idam Petrar Ellam. Then, Idar Perappandri Vayilla Ennai Anbal. Now, we must have a smooth life. Pirappu, we are born. Idar Pirappu, we have troublesome life. So, only Ivayilla. The Lord doesn't want us to suffer even a little. So, Idar Pirappu, only Ivayilla. We have been taking a lot of births. During all these births, we should not have suffered. He sees to that. Lord takes care of us that we do not suffer. And therefore we have become human beings. Now that we have become human beings, Ennai Anbal. So they show affection. The individual souls show affection. We show the affection to him. We show love to him. So Ennai Anbal. Adam Patramavan Endu Ninendan. He is talking about only one individual soul. That applies to all. So he says, Lord is grateful because the individual soul thought of him. Ninendan. How did he think of him? How did the individual soul think of the Supreme Soul? Adam Patram Avan Endu. Lord is intent upon connecting the individual soul to him. And he is the only succor. He is the only refuge. And he will be what we call adamant to give us the boon. He has an adamantine attitude to bless us. I will not leave you. I will not leave you in the lurch. I will not desert you. உன்னை கைவிட மாட்டேன். அடம் பற்றாம் அவன் என்று நினைந்தான். So the individual soul has the right feeling, namely, he thought, the individual soul thought that he is the only succor and he will go to any extent to bless us, and he will take all steps to take care of us, and therefore there is no other God except Shiva Narayana to take care of us, and therefore I love him. Lord says, I love him. Yavan means who? Avan Avi Shariyam Bodhu. Avan Avi is of course Jivatma. Sariyam Bodhu. This Avi becomes only body, so Avan Udal Sariyam Bodhu. So generally when someone falls down, we say it is very dangerous, risky. The life may go out by falling down. Avi Shariyam Bodhu. Now, while at the time of death, the Shastra says, the individual soul suffers an excruciating pain. And it will be as though the vertebrata, the backbone, is churned. But the backbone will be what we call the churning stick. And that will be more painful, heavily painful, intolerant pain. So, Avan Avi Shariyam Bodhu, though he was illiterate, the individual soul was illiterate, though he studied books, whether he is an expert in knowledge or whether he is ignorant, Arivu Mari, the individual soul, namely Uir, Tamil Sama Uir, that will take away the knowledge along with it. And therefore the body doesn't have any knowledge, because the human body, which so far lived for about 100 years and less than 100 years, had cooperated with the individual soul in gaining knowledge. Now it loses the knowledge. It becomes achetana. It becomes insentient object. It becomes inert. It becomes still. It is movementless. Udambil தான் உப்பலம்போல் கிடக்க. உடம்பில் தான் உப்பலம்போல் கிடக்க. The beauty is here, Lord remains in us, in our heart. When the life leaves the body, what will happen to the Lord? Whether the Lord also will be there or will it come out? He is there. Though the human body has become lifeless, though human body has become stone, though the human body has become a log of wood, though the body is lifeless, Antaryami Rupam, Lord is there. So how does he remain? Upalam bol kadakka. Upalam meaning stone. Upalam means stone. Pashana. Pashana is upalam. So then pol kadakka. Nane uyum vahe ninaindu. I also plan. I make a strategy. How can I redeem him? Uyum vahe. The method of redemption to this individual soul, how should I grant? So, Ninaindu, I plan, Uyanda Gadiyal, taking him to the highest goal, destination, Yandran Idam Petru, I will give my place to him. I will take him to my even bed, snake bed. Yandran Idam Petru, Yannudan Vara Edapan. He will be along with me, the resident of Sri Vaikunth. Yannudan Vara, he will live happily. He will not exist there along with me, but he will be enjoying himself, enjoying his residence. என்னுடன் வாழ எடுப்பன், I will take him, நயாமி என்ற எம்பெருமான். Thus the Lord said, அருள் பெற்றும் அருள் செற்றோடு. The confidence with which Vedanta Deshika says, I am sure to get the blessings of the Lord. Arul Petru, Arul blessings Petru after getting. What do we do? Marul Shatromi. We gave up our ignorance. Marul meaning darkness. Irul is called Marul. But Marul is darkness of ignorance. Not simply darkness, not absence of light, but absence of our mind. So Marul Shatromi. We gave up the ignorance. We killed the ignorance. இரண்டு உரையாத நம் ஏனம். The Yanam meaning Varaha Avatar. Yanam meaning Varaha Avatar. So Varaha Avatara, இரண்டு உரையாத நம் ஏனம். நம் பெருமாள். Sri Ranganatha Utsava Vigraha. So Nam Yanam, our Varaha Avatara, our great born incarnation, did not mince matters. இரண்டு உரையாத. He means what he says. He calls a spade a spade. இரண்டு உரையாத நம்பியன். Ramo Dvir Nabi Bhashate. Ramayana, we understand. Kaikai hurries up Rama to go to the forest. Rama says, I don't talk in two ways. Ramo Dvir Nabi Bhashate. So I will take up the what you call the robe, the sorry, called wood skin. Wood skin is called Valkalam. Valkalam is called the Valkalam is what you call the Maravudi. Tamil Maravudi. Just forgot English word. So Rama says, I will take up the Valkalam, getting dressed in Valkalam and get out. So Yenam Uraita Urai Erandin. We got two slokas of Karma of Varaha. So Uraita, he said, Urai Erandin, these two sentences. Tiranda Porul Telindu, we must get what you call the Tamila Puripure, the essence of these two sentences. So we must have clarity and understanding. We must know them comprehensively. Then Adi Shudinam, we go and surrender to the feet of the Lord, divine feet of the Lord. Then what will happen? Thin Nirulal, when the pitch darkness, that is darkness of ignorance, thin Nirulal, by the darkness of pitch, and pitch darkness of ignorance, that is deep darkness, deep ignorance. Our ignorance is deep. So the deep ignorance, Shurunda Nanjana Churunda. It has become diminished. Shurunda. It has been rolled out. Our ignorance is rolled out by Nanjana Chudarudi, by the effulgence, the flaming effulgence, brightness of the Lord in giving us the right knowledge. Nanjana. Shutrum Parapadan Mun Purandadu Nambi. Before this light engulfed us, spread over us, Shutrum Parapadan Mun, before the light of knowledge spread over us, Purandadu Nambinai. Our bad actions and good actions became nullified. Purandadu, they rolled out, as he said. They went out. Purandadu Nambinai. That means they went out of our hand. Then Pomidam Parthi ini Pomadam. Now we must remember where to go. Homidam. Homidam is Lord's place. Partha. Partha meaning understanding, not seeing the place. So understand the place. How do you understand the place of destiny, the destiny or destination? That is reading Vaikuntha Gadya. Vaikuntha Gadya must be read. Ini Pomalana. That is the right way, right place to go. Ini Pom. In future we are going to read it. Say go there. And as Swami Deshika said it in Vyasa Dashakam, Etad Dehavasane Nam Mam Tatpadam Prapayaswami. Ini Pomalana. So this is the essence. Alave meaning this is the essence. Malayam, Kulayam, Endraniyam, one perum pundu irangi, Talayam Velatapin, Tane Aye Shehin Dilir, Alayam Kadalgunda Vayam Alitavan Mayarve. Fourth line is there. There is a fourth line of Nilayendra Nadi Nilayendra Poimadi Nikum. This is a prayer to the Lord. Malayam, Kulayam, Endru Enniyum. We also always hoped that our difficulties will end, which came in the form of mountains. It was almost like mountains, series of mountains falling on us by our bad actions. But we thought that all these mountains will go away. Malayam, Kulayam, Endru Enniyum. Though we thought of it that way, because of your grace, O Lord, all difficulties will get dissolved. Then when one perum pundi irangi, so you have your heart, your hard heart has become soft towards us. Then Talayim Veluthavin, we have become old enough to understand. Thane Aliye Ishekindili. You don't want us to perish. You don't want to get ourselves destroyed. So we don't want to be immersed in ignorance and lose the freedom of birth and death cycle, and doomed forever. So he doesn't want us to be doomed forever. Alayam Kadal Kunda Vayam Alitavan Meyarule. He is a true blessing for us. Meyarule. Alayam Kadal Kunda Vayam Alitavan. There are oceans, 7 oceans. Even now, I think we have names, English names of the 7 oceans. At present available. 3 around our Bharata Desha. Bay of Bengal. So Alayam Kadalgunda. So the oceans have always waves. The same way our life has been full of waves. Our life has been an ocean of disturbed waves. What we call challenge waves. And all these creations are granted by the Lord. Fortunately, we are born on the earth, which is one of the creations of the Lord. We are born as human beings. And therefore, we have a place to live in this earth. So then we must understand that Lord is broad-minded. Lord is a philanthropist. Lord is munificent. Then we must think of him, Nilayendru. He is the permanent solution. So Nadi, surrender. Nilai Nindra, Poi Madi Nikkudu. Already we have got lot of misunderstandings. Those misunderstandings must be removed. They have been permanent in our mind for many births. Nilai Nindra, permanently attached. Poi Madi, bad knowledge, false concept, nikumine. Please remove them. Next to page 28. So the same, the words are there in Sanskrit. So our mind is very clear. Our mind is what we call comfortable. Our mind is healthy. Sastham chittam. Sastham chittam means our mind is healthy. Sukham api. We also enjoy the pleasure. Vapuhu, the body, the physical pleasure is enjoyed. So dhatu saumyam. We have hormones correct in balance. Dhatu, hormone, samyam in balance. Chakritva. So all these have been done by him. Our mind has become clear. We have physical pleasure. The hormones are working properly. So all these are done by him. Kritva. Swa atmanam cha. So we are his belongings. Our individual soul belongs to him. Smriti Padam. The spelling in print is wrong. Dot over M also must be. Smriti Padam Ajam Vishwarupam Vitanman. So Vitanman, the extending. Extending meaning extending the benefit. That means favoring. Vishwarupam, the universal form that we must meditate upon. And we must know that he is unborn, Ajam. And he must be in our memory. Smriti Patham, second tha. Smriti Patham, Ajam, Vishwarupam Vitanman, Kale Prapte, while the right time, opportune time arrives, Karana Vilayat, by our, what we call, nullifying the actions of our limbs, all will stop working. Eyes, ear, and all other sense organs. Karana is sense organ. Vilayat, all will go back to their original nature and they will not work. They will not work. Then Kashta Pashana Kalpan, we refer to a lot of bodies, human bodies, dead bodies. Kashta Pashana Kalpan, that means a lot of people are dying. And when they are like a log of wood and stone, Nathaha, the Lord, Potri, he is the protector. He is a protector. Nayatu, let him take us, Kripaya, gracefully, with sympathy. Nathitaha Swamadam. Swamadam is Paramapadam, is Vaikuntham. It should be ours. Naha. O-U-R-S, ours. Naha. Swamadam. So his headquarters will become our headquarters. His capital will be our capital. And he made us also the leaders. So he makes us the leaders. Nathitaha. Nathitaha. Because we had understood him as our leader, he made us understand that he is our leader. And in the Vaikuntham, he is the leader. And you can also say he has granted his divine feet to us. Sam Padam. So it is our bounden duty to worship the divine feet of the Lord. Even there. The very Kaikaryam, the service that we do on the earth here is almost equal to moksham. And also prapatti, the total surrender itself is called moksham. That is the prayojanam. That is the purpose. That is the advantage. That is the benefit. That is the fruit. So these are all words of Swami Vedanta Deshmukh. The final prayer, generally, as we say in Satyamurai, we salute Lord Swami Vedanta. Nanilamum Tan Vaழ. Nanilamum Tan Vaழ meaning Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Not four states. Nanilamum Tan Vaழ. Nan Nilamum Tan Vaழ. My land and myself should also be safe. Should happily live. Nan Marahil Tan Vaழ. Rig, Yajus, Sama, Atharva, all these four scriptures are protected during the Mahapralaya, what we call Kalpa Pralaya, especially in the incarnation of a fish. So, Nanmarahil Tamvara meaning the scriptures must be studied by people, scriptures must be understood by people. That that means they are alive. So, four scriptures must be alive. Four scriptures should live happily. Managarin Maran Maraival. Managarin Tirukkurungudi. Maran Nammalvar. Marai Thiruvaimozhi. Val. So Thiruvaimozhi should always exist in the minds of people. Bhagavad Vishaya must be learnt by people. Managarin Maran Maraival. So these are all assured by whom? Vedanta Deshika. Jnaniyargal Shanyani Chair. Tupal Vedanta Deshikare. Jnaniyargal. Those who are what do you call saints, what do you call wise people. Wise people. They keep always Vedanta Deshika on their head. Chenni. Chenni means head. Ani means Alankara. So they keep Vedanta Deshika on their head as a headdress, as a what do you call cap, and always say hat, H-A-T. Just like Lord Shiva wears the moon on the head. He is called Chandra Shekhara. Same way, so the wise people will always hold Vedanta Deshika aloft as their head. And Tupal, where he was born, Vedanta Deshika, the village where he was born, Tupal, the very grass also is pure. Tuimeyana Pul. Whatever grows in the village called Tupal is called Tu because pure, because of the birth of Vedanta Deshika, because of the incarnation, as we say now today, Vedanta Deshika, the whole village has become holy. Innumanu Nutrandu. We always pray that his sampradaya should be continued so that all worlds will have welfare, all scriptures will live happily. The Thiruvaimozhi, the 1,000 and plus, the Nalayira Divya Prabandha Pashura, 4,000 divine outpourings of Nammalvar, Maran, should also live in the minds of wise people. And that is the achievement of Vedanta. Thanks to all of you for making a completion of Rahasya Sikhamani. Lakshmipuram Villivakkam என்ற விலாசத்திற்கு எழுதுக. This is a place where Seva Swami, Seva Srinivasa Raghavacharya Swami, a very great scholar, President Awardee in Sanskrit, lived in Lakshmipuram Villivakkam. I had the fortune of meeting him, bowing to him, learning from him, and receiving his affection.
ராமானுஜதயா பாத்திரம் ஞானவைராக்கியபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்ததேசிகம் கவிதார்க்கியசிம்மாய கல்யாணகுணசாலினே ஸ்ரீமதே வெங்கடேசாய வேதாந்தகுரவே நமः வாதித்விவ சிரோபங்கபஞ்சானனபராக்கிரமः ஸ்ரீமான் வெங்கடநாதார்ய சிரம் விஜயதாம் புவி ஸ்ரீரொண்டதூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் வாரொன்ற சொன்ன உழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வாடேறப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம்